Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. Now, a large percentage of the new ministers will play a major role relating to the economy. But before we continue, let's remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Please visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. Now, a number of the new ministers will play a major role in defining or giving direction to the new economy under the Buhari administration, and with ministers occupying the offices of finance, trade and investment, labor and productivity, budget and national planning, agriculture and rural development as well. Joining us on the program to give us a perspective on how the cabinet will help with the economy is the head of business desk, Channels Television, Bosun Omafaye. Thank you for being here. It's good to have you here.
My pleasure.
Again, Bosun. Well, of particular interest to me is the fact that some of the ministries were collapsed. Some were separated. Finance, budget and national planning. Will this make for better administration? And what exactly will this do as far as it being late in the day is concerned? It's just now that we're getting the ministers. Will this affect their performance in these key ministries? And which ministries should we look out for in particular that will help to boost the economy?
I think I'm going to start from the tail end of what you're talking about, and considering the state of the world economy and considering where we find ourselves within the space, I think it will be wrong for us to look at 1, 2, 3, or 4 ministers as the drivers of the economy moving forward. All the ministers, as we speak, are all finance and economic ministers, quote unquote, and that is my position. Again, if you're looking at an economy that is wobbling, you're looking at an economy that is suffering from serious headwinds from the global space, coupled with mass corruption, lack of investment, lack of seriousness, lack of the right attitude to drive the economy. Now tell me what part of the economy of the Nigeria's state that does not require a very active engagement as we speak. We need to fix water. We don't have potable water. We don't have we don't have a stable electricity. We need to diversify, not just diversify, and fund other sectors of the economy, which is solid minerals. We need to fix the roads. It's all about putting everything together to work. The entire Nigerian state, the enterprise called Nigeria, is a suffering enterprise. It's an enterprise that is suffering holistically. So don't let us think that this is Adeosun's job, or this is Fashola's job, or this is Amechi's job. Every minister, is it education? There's no single part of Nigeria that is not groaning as we speak. So we have an engine of a vehicle that has a problem.
Sorry to interrupt you, Bosun. Let me jump in here. Is that a long-term solution given we're looking at a 4-year?
No, it is immediate.
Is there a short-term remedy? People are saying that there's no money in the economy. There's no finance. We're not liquid. Yes. We don't know. We can't get money out of the system because the ministers haven't been chosen. Is that any truth to that?
Right now, that's why I say that the days of trying to think that the finance minister is the problem or is the fixer of the economy, those days are gone. You need to fix water. The funding has to come from somewhere. You need to fix housing deficit that runs into millions. You need to provide mortgage finance. You need to provide affordable education. You need to provide the road infrastructure that will enable farmers get their products to the farm. You need to ramp up on agriculture. You need to step up on foreign economic diplomacy with strategic regions and countries of the world. That is foreign affairs. You need to handle internal insecurity issues to be able to get the Northeast back on track and stop the degradation in the South where you have oil over the years. You need to clean up that environment. The anti-poverty, anti-corruption, anti-social lack of infrastructure that we've carried on for decades will have to change. So this time around, there is no single individual that is therefore the arrowhead of this. Okay. The president is the arrowhead of this economic revival.
I get your
drift. So to start with, he has subsumed the ministries, and he has tasked the new executive cabinet to say, look, you've got a lot to do more. This is no mean business. This is not business as usual. For example, as soon as the announcements were made, and I'll tell you what's happening around the world, the head of strategy and one of the world's leading economists, Razia Khan, who sits in London, was on Twitter, and she said, look, this was a good appointment, putting Fashola in charge of power. So which means that as we speak, the world is looking at the power sector in Nigeria. We're not just talking about the traditional power, we're looking at the solar, the renewable. So the world is going to task all the ministers right now on how to move the economy forward. None of them has a breathing space as we speak. Moving forward, none of them would say, well, this is a backward or less juicy a ministry. Look at the water deficiency in Nigeria, for example. We had a massive problem with water. Look at a city like Lagos. Is it environment? Look at flooding.
Wilson, where will the money come from?
No,
I get your drift. Now, but we've talked about housing. You talked about infrastructure.
Yes.
Where's the money going to come from to begin to fix these things?
The money had always been there. If you look at the support that Nigeria have always had from all the multilateral agencies, the World Bank, the MIGA, the IFC, UNIDO, UNFP, everybody else, we've always had funding support. We have from China Exim Bank. We have funding support. Nigeria had always been a destination for foreign investors who sees the potential, the promise that what Nigeria holds, the emerging population, the middle class, the youth. So people see Nigeria as that destination for investment. How we have managed, or rather, in brackets, mismanage these resources and the friendly hands that the world has extended to us, that is where the problem had always been. We have always had it. Look at what has been approved for Lagos State to get a real project in place. $200 million. Look at Rivers State, for example, under the last administration. They need to fix sanitation and fix water in Port Harcourt, which is an emerging city which ought to be the oil city for Nigeria. Now, this funding had always been there, but again, it comes to management and those who are in charge of the affairs. And that is why...
Finally, Wilson, sorry to jump again. Finally, these ministers are ministers irrespective of party affiliation, irrespective of states of origin. They're ministers for the country.
They're the federal.
They're federal ministers.
Correct.
Is that what you see? Do you see them seeing themselves as federal ministers so the states can also benefit?
The key issues here is that you need to get them to work together. And that's where my concern is right now. Historically, ministers hardly work together in Nigeria, but they need to work together this time around to deliver the kind of economic renaissance and rebirth that the country really needs.
Thank you so much, Bosun, for that bird's eye view, that eagle eye view on what to expect from the ministers going forward as the president has wheeled out the portfolios for the new men in charge. We're going to take a quick recess on news across Nigeria. And when we come back, Kano State and some projects going on. Stay with us.